I always knew I was going to be independent. I cannot tell you it was a job, but the one thing I loved is independence.
Wow.
I have always struggled to depend on people because I also, how would I put it?
CTA with Patricia, video 2.
The tagline on CTA is you never truly know people until you take the time out to get to know people. I'm loving this one. If you're catching us here, I like saying catch it from the very beginning. Context is important. There's something that you said that you wanted to share.
No, I wanted to share. I didn't speak to, they always say there are people who you look back and you say, this person was bold and I love their boldness, but also I loved what they did, that they embraced me. Because when they say when somebody embraces you, there's an expression that's always said, people forget what you say, people forget what you do, but they never forget how you make them feel. And I always say, when I first came back to Nairobi and my first day in school arriving, and you can imagine first day in school, it's people have been together. You're coming in standard 3 and people have been together for the last 2 years, they form friendships. And here you are walking in, this strange girl with glasses, walking in from God knows where, and the person who welcomed me the most till today, and she remembers it because I always tell her, is Angie. And you all know Angie calls herself now, she's reverend, she's bishop, she's
and she's got a YouTube channel called Just Angie.
Just Angie.
Yep.
And Angie Morenga was the way she is today. And I understand why now she's the missionary that she is. She's a person that she is. Because she walked up and she said, hello, welcome, I'm going to look after you. This is this. And she took me under.
Wow.
And that feeling of having somebody who was going to look after you. And being the person she was always bigger than life. Angie was always bigger than life, always super confident, super whatever. And, just that endorsement allowed me to fit in, allowed me to be accepted. Yes, we're in the same class. Same class. I walked into her class.
Wow.
And she actually took the initiative. And till today, that's why I'm telling you, my photographic memory always comes in. The way she just came, walked, put her arm around me and said, welcome, come into the class, and she was bigger than me and whatever else.
Wow.
And it was I still remember that feeling till today. Yeah. Yeah.
Pastor Angie, I see
Pastor Angie.
The pastorness has always
and
been there.
And she knows it. She smiles. She says, oh yeah, you're going to say, remember that time. And, I say, yeah. People never forget how you make them feel.
I'm negoing with Pastor Angie to come on the seat.
Yes.
But she said yes.
Okay.
Amazing. She's also had such an incredible impact on my life.
Yes.
So it's amazing to hear the different generations.
Yes. This is us as 8-year-olds. So,
okay.
Yeah.
We talked about you then moving. Now at this time you're living in, you've moved to, when do you move to Loresho? Because you've been in Oloidume, Ngei,
I think when we were
Loresho.
I was 15, I think. 14 or 15? Yeah, that's what.
Near the shopping center?
No, it is opposite the Welcome. The Cooper's Library, that side. It was a new Loresho.
Okay.
Yes,
okay.
That's where we moved to.
I've understood it.
Yeah. I mean, it was great. You're moving back. You've got a lovely house, great grounds and everything. But let me tell you, it was not good at all for us at that time. Because
no neighbors?
It's not even the neighbors, because at least you have neighbors. People have got big walls. You can't walk across. You don't know anybody. But I think the bigger thing is that's time you want to go out. Now, today everything is close. It's funny when I tell my girls now, when we reflect, Loresho was far. From Carnival.
It was so far.
From Carnival. Oh my goodness. Nobody will give you a ride. First of all, people didn't really have cars. There was no Uber. There were no taxis, whatever. Imagine the negotiations you would need for anybody. So I had my best friend, Nicole, at the time. Every weekend spent at her place because she was still on Oloidume.
Yes.
Yeah. So that was a hub. That area, there was always rides. Everybody could give you a ride here and there. But these outskirts, the Karen types, the Loresho types, the Tigoni types, who lives in place? You were seen as living just out of scope completely. To get a ride, the negotiations. So, and then you've got parents who don't even know that you've gone out. So when you combine all those combinations were just complicated. It was very complicated.
I love it. Hey, and I understand it very well.
So there you are. Now in the morning is when now you beg somebody and said, oh guys, please, can you get me? Then you arrive. Then the gate is this high. Then you're trying to figure out, can I jump over it? Will I get over it? And then now you're like, how are you going to sneak in without anybody knowing? You know, do you go in? I mean, the number of times we'd get in and you've managed to negotiate and you think you've just made it. And our house was like this and then the living room was down and you think you've just tiptoed, you've made it. You've spoken to the very good houseboy who you'd wire and make sure he lets you in. And then you just see my mother sitting there. Is this the time that a decent girl can be coming? So much for that.
So, what's the difference with you and your other sister?
So it's very interesting. So my older brother and I never ever got on. In fact. Never. I mean, even it's one of the saddest stories you tell because I became the default elder person through my life because you know he I guess in many ways this is why I said there's a paradox of life. You're brought up as equals in a family. You're brought up as all level, but he I think grew up feeling I am the eldest. I'm a boy. I'm the son. I should run the show. I should own this. At one point, I remember you sit down and tell me, you know, you're staying in my house. I said, sorry? How? Explain. How this is your house? You know, like, no, you're going to get out. This is my home. I'm the eldest son. I'm like, really? Last time I heard, it was mums and dads, you know, but that was his attitude and whatever else. And I think some of those things, I don't know where they came in his life, but they messed him up completely. And, you know, so he struggled, actually. He struggled till today. He's still struggling today through life. But it's those type of things that's one, when I talk about the saddest things I look at in my life, that was a thing. Then my brother and my sister were very close, the ones who follow each other, because they were a year apart. So they did a lot of things together. And then we had this big gap with the youngest one, who for all intents and purposes, I was like his mother. So you sound like you were then clinging with, I mean, you then got this circle of friends. Yes.
Because you're not tight with your bro, you're not per se tight with these other two. Because these other two have a bond.
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm very close friends. So at primary, I had a very tight circle of 3 friends. We were always together, inseparable. In fact, one was also called Patricia. So it was Patricia K, Patricia M, because my maiden name started with an M, and then there was we stuck together, and then we were separated. One was sent to Kianda, the other one to Musungari, and I was told you stay because you know they said you girls are not. You just live each other's lives too much. You have to be separated. Then high school, then Form 1, then I had another very good friend, Nicole, who was then a very good friend through even till early college. And then I think I've always had a circle of people who were very close friends for a particular phase, and many of them have stayed. You know, one, for example, Ash. You know, from the time when. You know, high school, we're still very good friends until today. Yeah.
Question. When you join Musungari, do you start thinking, okay, this is the direction I want my life to go?
Yes. By then I was very clear. Okay. I mean, after that Sister Pauline moment, I started to sit down and say, you know what, you've got to get your act together here. You've got to get a lot more serious. But I didn't stop. I think a part of me is also a creative. It's a problem when you're mixed, all these things are creative. So there's something in me that's always been the dreamer. And I always tell people, never stop dreaming. Because, you know, you're told dreaming is wasting time. What are you doing dreaming? You know, can you just go and do? Why are you dreaming? And my favorite pastime was to lie on the grass and just stare at the clouds and just dream of places I want to go, dream. Another memory of mine, for example, I can't remember, there was a little postcard I found somewhere. That's why I'm telling you, I got a photographic.
You do.
And this postcard, I can't remember which, it must have been somebody who'd come from somewhere, and they had this postcard, right? Of a, the postcard was of Amsterdam, blue skies, port, sea. I don't know whether it was Amsterdam or Rotterdam, whatever. I could still see that postcard till today. And I used to lie there and just tell myself, you know what? I want to visit these places. I want to travel. I want to visit. And I wonder what it's like. I wonder what it's like to be there. I wonder what... And you go to Musangari. You arrive first time in school, January. You've got classmates who've just come from holiday in London. You're thinking, okay. And they're wearing pumps. By the way, I wrote my blog on the shoe story because of that. I'm crazy about shoes because I used to watch people with all these beautiful shoes and I'm not getting them shoes. Who's bringing me shoes? And it started again from then, where you're seeing guys have come with pumps. Then the next thing is, patent leather little things, ballerinas, and your mom is taking you to Bata.
So you're trying to know that.
So these are the things that, shape you. You're dreaming of travel. You're dreaming of the life you want. And but I was still a dreamer.
But there's something you've said. There's so somebody may hear this story and think you're well off. And I'm not saying you're not well off, but I'm saying there's levels to this.
There's levels to it.
So you are the Bata level.
Bata level.
But there's guys who are flying in from London.
Who came in from London, you know, and you're like, okay, we only go to Bata. And we only bought clothes in December for Christmas. That was when you bought shoes. You bought your shoes you bought clothes.
Did you go back to Meru sometimes?
Yes, you'd go for Meru. You'd go to Meru on the holidays. You'd spend, at least a week there and whatever else. And that's that. You do stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you also said the thing about being a creative and
so the creative for me is a dreamer.
Okay.
So my high school, some of my best moments, also when I'd get into trouble, is I decided I don't want to go to class. I'd go lie on the grass and just dream. Go the
you don't want to go to class and you go and lie.
I just want to dream. It's a lovely day. The sky is blue. There's a blue sky.
Oh my God.
Come on, guys. Don't you guys love blue skies? I'm crazy about blue skies. With sun and sunshine.
No, I don't mind the blue skies. It's the bit of I don't want to go to class.
It's boring class. I mean, it's a class I don't want to go to. So I'd go. And Musangari had a thing where at the tennis court, there's one level and then you go down, there's a level. So I'd go lie just below there because I just wanted to lie there. I mean, I don't want to go and it was nice and hidden. I just want to lie on the grass and stare at the skies and dream. And I'll never forget once lying down, you open your eyes and there was Sister Pauline, the headmistress, just looking down at you. What do you think you are doing?
Dreaming.
And you're like, oh my gosh. And then so you start saying I was feeling unwell. I had cramps. I had this. I had, you're just cooking up all sorts of stories. All you're doing is you're skiving class because you just didn't feel. You just weren't feeling it. You weren't feeling it. Yeah.
But this sounds different from the normal you. Because all throughout I'm hearing this person who, you're going to class. But were you still doing well in class?
Yes, I'd still do well. And then we'll tell my friend, okay, now we need to buy pizza. Do you know, I was nearly suspended a second time because there you are. You want to go to Pizza Garden. I had a friend, Josephine and Susan, so we decided, no, why don't we just go to Pizza Garden? We're going to walk through St. Mary's. Our uniform is bright blue and bright red, okay? Bright blue. And it's not like now where there are millions of people milling around. And we decided we're going to walk to Pizza Garden. Yeah, through St. Mary's, down Raptor Road. We go to Pizza Garden, we get ourselves a pizza, and then we come back to school. I mean, I actually think there was something wrong. When I reflect on some of the things, and there'll be odd things I do, I'm like, is there like a nut at some point which would just a switch that would just flick and say, no, you need some excitement. Switch things up a bit. Switch things up a bit, and then switch them back.
Okay.
Yeah.
By all intents and like you sound like a misfit.
Yeah.
In Rusinga.
Yeah.
I mean, not in Rusinga.
Everywhere, I think I was.
In Musongari.
I think because I've always struggled to fit in. I think because I've always struggled with insecurity and self-esteem. So what you do all these things.
Okay.
To try and reaffirm yourself, tell yourself, actually, I'm okay. But all you're doing is you're just being rebellious.
Wow.
Yeah, that's all you've been. Yeah, that's all you're doing.
I really, this story, I didn't honestly think it was going to go like this. Mm-hmm. And I love it. Mm-hmm. I love, first of all, thank you for the honesty and the vulnerability.
Yeah.
Because there are people in that sense, and I get it because I'm a creative and I didn't get some almost structured environment and the classes and all these things. But with you, I was not doing well in class. With you, that's the thing. That's why leading guys astray.
It's because I think my brain just needed stimulation, and I've always had this thing of how do we make things a little bit more exciting? Maybe but then there's also the element of let me do something that is cool.
Yeah.
So when you mix all those things up, I don't know what was going on there, is all I can say.
Okay. So, but the thing I was asking is, did you now decide this is what I want to do? Were you having a picture of...
Yeah.
Okay. And what was that?
I always knew I was going to be independent. I cannot tell you it was a job, but the one thing I loved is independence.
Wow.
I have always struggled to depend on people because I also, how would I put it? I don't know if it's a trust deficit. It's not necessarily trust. I think it's a pride thing because I don't want to owe anybody anything. I think when you suffer from low esteem, insecurity and everything else, for you, security is not needing to depend on people. So I've always believed in my independence.
Let me just say first, I've had over 100 people here.
Yes.
When I ask them what they want to do in life, no one has ever said, look, it's lawyer, doctor, no one has ever said, at that time, I wanted to be independent.
Yes.
That's...
My independence is, and there's a guy I've been reading of late who has said some very poignant things. He's called David Thoreau. He's, writer, historical, whatever. There's something that he said. There's one I loved. One is not what you look at that matters, what you see. But the bigger one for me is also, he says, disobedience is at the heart of liberty. Yeah? He says, it's only slaves who are obedient. Right?
Wow.
And for me, I think it captured who I am, because I'm like, if you can't rebel, if you can't go against, if you can't do what you want, if you can't get out of the box, if you can't fight for your independence and be independent and not have to worry about somebody else being the one who determines that, then you're not free. You're actually not free. So for me, what has driven me through life and through everything I've done is just that independence. My father gave me money the last time I was actually given money. I was probably 18 or 19, and I remember I wanted to travel. I wanted to go on this trip to Israel. My father was always very supportive, and he did that. And he said, yeah, I'm doing that. My mom was like, why are you doing this? No. Anyway, there was a lot of drama going on there. But I sat down and I said, you know what? I'm never going to need to ask somebody again.
Wow.
Because I want to do something that I have to depend on you to do it. And that's what's driven. If you ask me, a lot of things that I've done, why do I do them? Even if I'm dying, I may not want to or whatever. It's because if it's going to guarantee my independence, I will do it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a strong, hey, your life has got some serious pivotal points. Yeah. Like if you listen to your story, there are things that you're saying that happened that completely change the trajectory of your life and become foundational. Yes. Actually, that's the thing.
Yes.
They become foundational. So have it be the spaghetti.
Yeah.
Now it's this.
It's spaghetti.
Super.
Yeah.
Now it's this thing that my mind is, okay, let me say it. Let me also be honest and say, when people say some of these things like I want to be independent, it's either they come in for, a lot of times when you hear that thing, it's the broken home or the poverty.
Yes.
The unfortunately the poverty that they've grown up in, that's making them say that. You don't sound like you have any of those two.
No, it was not poverty. It was the desire to be able to be who you want to be, and doing it. So what drives me? What drives me quite simply is that if I want to do something, I don't want to feel I have to depend on somebody else to be able to do it. And I feel in life, the minute you have to do that, you're not free, right? So what drives me in anything? So work, for example. Why do I have my work ethic? Because I tell myself, if I don't work, then it means I can't earn a livelihood. If I can't earn a livelihood, it means I'm going to have to depend on somebody else. And that freaks me out completely.
For real?
Oh my God, it freaks me out.
What's okay, I love this conversation.
Yeah. It freaks me out.
What's the balance between dependence,
Interdependence?
No, independence.
Independence, interdependence, and dependence.
Yes, because there is dependence. My kids are dependent currently on me.
Yes.
They can't go to school without me.
Yes.
Independence is I need nobody.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yes.
That's what you are talking about.
Yes.
Me, I'm asking about this
interdependence.
Yes, interdependence.
And I believe in interdependence for particular things. It's good to know you have somebody who has your back. It's good to know you are going to have other people's backs. Because for me, the other thing that I like is allowing people to know that I could have their back, right? So if you look at my children, right? When I finished, I wanted to go to the US. I really wanted to go to the US, but I also wanted to do law. So I applied, got into all these amazing universities. My father just told me we can't afford it. I'm sorry. You have done so well. You've done well enough to go to the university here. Why would you want to go and do something in America? So you do your first degree here, and then for your master's, you know how the parents cheat you? For your master's, you will go. But does it matter? But I think the decision it did is that for my children, I said wherever they wanted to go, they were going to go.
Okay.
And that's exactly what happened. I said for them, you know, that's why I tell you all these pivotal decisions that come from the shoes, the this, whatever. I said, you know, my girls, whatever and wherever they wanted to go, I was going to make sure they can do it. Yeah.
On the basis of you didn't have this.
Yes, exactly.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it. Okay, what I'm hearing you say then, let's finish this Musongari chapter.
Yes.
You do well.
Yes, again, I'm fine. I finish. I'm fine. I get into.
You know,
but
you know there was SWATs and there was bloods. Remember?
No, I think, but by then, by then I'd even managed even more to tone down what I can do. Tone down, and I think that's the saddest thing about when I reflect on who I am and why I try and speak to everybody. Don't hold back who you are. Don't spend, because I'd spent so much, it had become a new muscle. Don't do too much. Don't excel. Don't excel too much. So it's like driving with your foot on the brake.
Yeah.
So I think that's the time I started driving with the foot on a brake. And it takes a long time to unlearn that when you've been building it for such a long time in order to gain acceptance, in order to fit in order to do all those things. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So even in an and are your parents seeing that or is it because you're just taking good grades, they're not even seeing you?
They don't see it. You know, parents don't. You're okay. You know, they at that stage, you know, it's not like my girls, for example, they'll tell me, Mom, can you stop? Because I tell them, what is this? Because I was reflecting on myself. And they'll be like, what is this? You know, why? I've only gotten one B. I've never gotten a B. I've gotten one B. Why are you going on about the B? I said, because you're not a B. You know, you're not a B person. I know. And then I dial back. I'm like, okay, easy, Patricia. Easy, Patricia, easy. I said, okay then, as long as you're doing your best. The standard parent line. As long as you guarantee me you're doing your best. Okay. But deep down I'm like,
you're an A.
That was not it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were you again top of the country?
Hell no. By then I dialed back completely. I was just doing things to make sure I got to a particular place.
Yeah.
No,
okay.
No.
Let's take a break. When we come back, we now enter. I'm hearing you went to university?
I went to University of Nairobi, yeah.
Okay.
And I even did National Youth Service.
For
Imagine
real?
that. For real, 3 months. Hell on earth. Hell on earth. If you ask me today, why am I not a morning person? That was a trauma.
We're coming.